Retheme's got no soul, Retheme's got no heart. All you need is more bankroll, make some brand new concept art. She deserves so much better, let Tiana glow. She deserves so much better, cause the people told you so. Can't tell you what you'll find, maybe Bob will grant some extra time. Design a little better and you'll know.
Disney, might I have a word about this new project that we've all heard? As I think there might be a better option that you might want to pursue, and it involves a piece of land to make feel brand new. As you see, I feel Tiana deserves so much more than a rethemed ride, and that's what we're going to be discussing up next. Hi there Waltoneers, I'm Jack and this is Waltoneering, a video series where I armchair Imagineer and give the argument for certain things within the Disney parks. In actual fact, this is part 2 of a special look at the retheme and reimagining of Splash Mountain. As in part 1, I discussed what I think would be a better solution to the Splash Mountain problem over at Walt Disney World. And I'll leave a link to that video down below so you can go check it out. But for today, we're going to be talking about The Princess and the Frog. And so let's begin by discussing the officially announced retheme that's coming to Walt Disney World Splash Mountain and how it could realistically work at the Magic Kingdom. As you see, this project makes complete sense over in Disneyland because there is a New Orleans Square. And I personally can't wait to see this reimagining take shape and expand that land. But the problem is that there is no New Orleans Square in the Magic Kingdom. So it means that it will not easily thematically fit with any of its surroundings in Frontierland. Unless, of course, Disney were to make large-scale changes to the area and make a sort of New Orleans street. So let's imagine a way in which this scenario could realistically work. As first of all, there would need to be a berm to properly separate the contrasting themes of the Western Frontier and the Utah Bryce Canyon inspired rockwork of Big Thunder Mountain from that of the mini New Orleans Square. Although this doesn't have to be anything elaborate, but could be as simple as a foliage berm that could also have a small tunnel that would connect the two attractions and would act as a transition. Then, to keep this part of Frontierland connected to that of Big Thunder Mountain, I think Disney would be wise to create a new entrance sign, similar to the one in Disneyland, over this wooden bridge that would say Thunder Mining Company and would provide a direct access route to Big Thunder Mountain. And because of that simple berm idea, it would allow more freedom to retheme the courtyard just outside Splash Mountain to New Orleans styled architecture and transform the Frontierland Railroad Station to a New Orleans station instead. However, I also think that Disney could go one step further and use this retheme to add so much more to this park, as this walkway from Pirates of the Caribbean to Splash Mountain could become a New Orleans street inspired by Bourbon Street. And this would make sense, as geographically speaking, the state of Louisiana has a lot of pirate history. And another reason is because this section here is where the beginning of the parade route for the Magic Kingdom starts. So where better for the parade floats to emerge from than that of New Orleans Street? And all this would need to be is some themed 3D exteriors, a bit like the former Streets of America in Disney's Hollywood Studios. But of course, it could include some smaller merchandise locations and a stand that sells some delicious beignets as well. But realistically, I don't think Disney will invest that much into maintaining the integrity of Frontierland and the sightlines by separating the Princess and the Frog attraction from that of Big Thunder Mountain's theming. So what we're most likely to get is a retheme of the Splash Mountain courtyard area with some New Orleans elements. However, personally, I feel there's a much better way of bringing the Princess and the Frog to the Magic Kingdom. As you see, there's no question that Tiana is definitely deserving of representation. But what I want to see is true representation that is authentic to her story and her character. As when you think about it, there's nothing about a log flume ride that aligns very well with Tiana or her story. And it's even been rumoured that this reimagining is going to be centred more around Louis the Alligator in comical vignettes for most of the attraction, and Tiana may only be featured at the very beginning and the end of the ride. But even if that's not true, then I still don't get why every other princess who has an attraction has one that properly showcases and complements their story and character. And yet Disney has decided to give Tiana a rethemed log flume ride with a 50-foot drop that not even all ages of children will be able to experience because of a height requirement, which is an issue as I feel it's extremely important to ensure that young children can see themselves represented at Disney. But it's also understandable that this project was clearly designed for Disneyland first and foremost, and it is being duplicated for Walt Disney World. And that's because Disneyland is a landlocked resort, and this theme solve the problem of Splash Mountain and gives us a Princess and the Frog ride within this space restricted park. But you see, Disney World has the luxury of land and could easily use additional undeveloped space to create something that is more deserving of Tiana's story, as Tiana is a princess of this new era of Disney animation, alongside Elsa, Anna, Rapunzel and Moana, that are less about the early Disney animated movie trope where their dreams will come true if they can find their prince. But instead, these princesses are about showing that they have their own dreams and goals that they can achieve on their own. And that is exactly what Tiana does in the film, as she manages to save up all the money that she needs to buy the building that she's dreamed of turning into her own restaurant, Tiana's Place. However, this attraction announcement neglects the core message of the movie about working hard to make your dreams come true, and instead will take place after the final kiss and will take us on a journey with Tiana and Louis getting ready for their first Mardi Gras performance. And so here's my idea for how I would like to see Tiana and Princess and the Frog be given the representation that it deserves at Disney World. And you see, it involves a piece of land that is massively underutilized in the Magic Kingdom, and that is Tom Sawyer's Island. Now, the most important reason why Disney should do this is that since Splash Mountain is being removed because of its connection to Song of the South, then the same should be applied to Tom Sawyer's Island as well for its connection to the controversial literature of the adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Now, obviously, the easiest way to resolve this connection would probably be just to remove all of the signage on the island that makes references to the adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and instead rename the island to something like Frontier Island and keep it as it is, as that would be a relatively cost-effective measure. But personally, that would be leaving a huge opportunity on the table for a brilliant concept that people would love. As you see, there's around 11,000 square meters or 1.7 acres of land that could be developed. But of course, not all of that land is stable and suitable for construction as it currently stands. So depending on the land quality, Disney might need to drain the rivers of America and add additional land grading to the island, and perhaps restructure the size of the island and the track for the riverboat, which is not an unmanageable feat, as they did exactly that in 2016 in Disneyland for the expansion of Galaxy's Edge. And so all of those logistical preparations to the island would be well worth it in my opinion, so that Disney would be able to construct an authentic, true-to-life Tiana's Place restaurant on the first part of the island. But it's up for debate how much of the activity walkthrough attractions Disney would need to remove to support the restaurant's backstage infrastructure, as obviously I've simplified the map layout and oversized Tiana's Place on this version of the map, much as Disney do for their simple navigation. However, if it were possible to keep the caves intact, they could receive a simple interactive overlay with projection effects where you would encounter Dr. Facilier's friends on the other side. But realistically, they'd probably have to remove the caves to maximise the space for the restaurant, so that the island could then be levelled off and given a nice open space with block paving, and some additional New Orleans-inspired architecture and facades, although Harper's Mill could probably remain as is, along with the landing, as it could fit within the theming. And the reason to create this open space would not only be to showcase the beautiful Tiana's Place restaurant from the waterfront, but also to act as an outdoor quick service seating area for some delicious beignets. However, now let's discuss Tiana's Place, as this would be a 2-story building that would have an outdoor balcony seating area on both levels, in the style of the famous New Orleans architecture. But this wouldn't just be an exclusive must-do dining experience because of the live jazz music inside the main hall, which would feature a character moment like that of Belle and the Beast at the Be Our Guest restaurant, or how it is done at Tiana's place on the Disney Wonder cruise ship, where she leads a Mardi Gras procession around the restaurant. But I also believe that this would easily become one of the most popular dining experiences because of the positioning of the balcony, as the line of sight aligns perfectly with Cinderella Castle, and so it provides an incredible opportunity for a nighttime spectacular viewing area, with this perfect angle that would show the castle and some of the fireworks, and not to mention the amount of Haunted Mansion fans who would love to dine with a unique view of their favourite attraction. And to add to all of this, throughout the day you would also be able to see the riverboat pass by as well, completing the New Orleans dining experience and theming within this area, whilst also remaining true to Tiana's story and character. But then we come to the second part of this concept that involves the larger island where Fort Longhorn is located, as this would be the perfect location for a Louisiana bayou that would be where we would find the home of Mama Odie. And this would be a pretty spectacular facade, so much that it would become a new icon of the Magic Kingdom, drawing people to go and discover the magical and mystical environment. But here's the thing, as this facade could act as an entrance to a classic Fantasyland style Omnimover dark ride, similar to Under the Sea with the Little Mermaid, where unlike the Splash Mountain reimagining, it would feature Tiana many times throughout the ride, and would give the opportunity to retell her story in a more traditional ride setting. Or the other option could be that this would be home to a large indoor theatre. And personally, despite loving the idea of having a new original ride, I'm also intrigued by what could be done with a show concept, as we could be going there to visit Mama Odie as she uses her magic gumbo pot to retell the story of Tiana. And then through the use of projection mapping, the whole theatre could be transformed to feature Dr. Facilier's friends on the other side, as they try and do battle with Mama Odie. But of course, this is only a vague idea for a show concept that could feature all of the amazing jazz music along with the new original songs and cutting-edge special effects, illusions and magic tricks that would showcase all forms of voodoo magic. Now obviously, for all of this concept to work, it would require the riverboat to have a slightly modified track on a shorter route around the rivers of America, which would become the Mississippi River. But if Disney were to keep the original route of the riverboat, it could perhaps be achieved by a retractable, movable bridge that would connect Frontierland to the Louisiana Bayou when the riverboat isn't coming by. Or maybe I'm overthinking it, and they could just use the log raft system that they currently have. But overall, the reason why I would rather see this type of concept come to Disney World is that it would give guests even more opportunities to experience and interact with the characters from Princess and the Frog. And it would also create a whole new land devoted to this exciting environment of Louisiana and the New Orleans culture, which isn't found anywhere within the Magic Kingdom. So in summary, I feel that this would be truly representative and deserving of Tiana and her story. But now, it's over to you, the Waltoneers, as if you agree with me and you like the idea of a Tiana's Place restaurant on Tom Sawyer's Island and that whole area being rethemed to Mama Odie and the Bayou, then be sure to share this video online. But if you have a different idea and a different variation on the concept for how to properly represent Princess and the Frog at Walt Disney World, then I'd love to hear it down below in the comments section. And of course, as always, don't forget to put the timestamp for where the hidden Mickey appeared somewhere within this video, along with your suggestion or your comment, to be able a chance to win one of these official DSY Newscast enamel pins. And congratulations to this Waltoneer here for winning this suggestion from the previous video, where we're talking about a solution to Splash Mountain at Walt Disney World. And so that's it for today, so be sure to go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to this channel, hit that notification icon, and also if you're enjoying these Waltoneering videos, then be sure to give this video a massive thumbs up, as it really does help this channel out. And I've been Jack, you've been you, and I'll see you real soon.